Hey, what's up? Like, totally time for 90210.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to the 90210 show. My name is Mark. With me as always is my wife, Carol. How are you doing today, Carol?
Hey, what's up?
Not much. It's been a good week here. It is August 5th, 1999.
It is that.
And we're in some agony.
Yeah.
Name of the episode, Agony.
This is... So, just to start out, like, this episode's, like, heavily about rape, so if you don't want to hear about that, maybe skip this one.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, you can skip it.
But, we forgot to mention that at the end of the last episode, a guy attacked Kelly in a dark alley.
Yeah, and it was very clear he was probably going to rape her.
Because he, like, ripped her shirt open, yeah.
Yeah, they didn't show it, but...
She was on her way to Dylan because he called her and said he wanted to use, and she was going to go talk him out of it.
Take some heroin. I'm in a heroin area.
I don't even... Oh, my God. It was a bad area.
Yeah, of course.
Duh. I know, but... like, I really didn't put that together.
Okay. Well...
But that's why she was there.
Yeah.
Oh,
exactly.
That's so awful.
I know. It's 100% his fault.
It is not. It's 100% the rapist's fault.
Well, yeah, it's 100% the rapist's fault. But so... I think, just to give you a little bit more of a warning, I think we're going to try to be funny. At least when we can. I think we're going to look for areas of humor, but we're not going to make light of rape. And if you have been the victim of something, in all seriousness, there are places, like is showcased on this episode, that can help you, so... It's never your fault. It's 100% the rapist's fault, always. And Dylan's, if he called you to come meet him. It's partially
stop him from using heroin.
It's partially his fault, too, if you know Dylan in real life.
Anyway.
So, we start with... Okay, I'm just going to do a quick overview thing, like my overview thoughts. We don't usually do this. We usually just go bit by bit.
Okay.
But I want to give a little overview of my thoughts of this episode. The show hasn't earned this.
Okay.
The show lost this. They lost the right to have an episode like this, I think. At the beginning, they did stuff with rape before. They did stuff very seriously with drugs, sexual harassment and stuff like that. They had some serious issues that they tackled back when this was a real TV show. With real actors on it.
It is still a real TV show with real actors.
But they've become a cartoon. It's not even a soap opera anymore. It is a live action cartoon. It's a ridiculous show with ridiculous, convoluted things on it now.
Okay. Most episodes, that's true. I actually feel like they did a really good job with this episode and this topic.
I don't think they did a bad job with the episode. I think they did a good job with the topic, but I don't think that they earned this anymore. What
do you have to do to earn this? What do you even mean by that?
Well, okay, I'll explain it. If you want me to explain it, then I'll explain it. Can you let me? I was afraid they didn't do this, but I was afraid that it was going to be like Whiplash in this episode, where they're doing the main storyline of Kelly, and Kelly being like, "Oh my God, I was horribly raped and victimized, and I'll describe everything that he did to me." And then we go to Steve, and Steve's like, "I got my foot stuck in a well. Come help me, Janet." I thought it was going to be like some weird fucking shift between those two things, but it wasn't. They did an okay job balancing, there was no super wacky storylines. But why I'm saying they haven't earned it is it's a tonal shift from the last 5-6 episodes. The last 5-6 episodes we watched have all been like light, fluffy shit.
What?
Kind of.
Come on. Gina's been bulimic for the last couple episodes.
Just last episode that started.
I thought it was 2 episodes.
Nope.
Okay.
This is the second episode she's bulimic.
And, Kelly and Dylan cheating, that was a heavier topic.
But it's not treated that way. It's not treated like, oh my god, it's infidelity and look what it can do to people and relationships and look how it can tear worlds asunder. It's not treated like that. It's treated like, oh man, Dylan and Kelly fucks. You know, so like that's how it's treated. It's treated salaciously. So going from, you didn't feel whiplash. You didn't feel like this was a huge tonal shift from what we've been doing to now.
There are episodes where I feel like that because they're cartoonish, and I don't think that's what the show's about. I don't feel like because they actually did a decent and serious episode that I have whiplash because all the episodes are cartoonish.
You didn't answer my question. You didn't feel like this was a big tonal shift from what they usually do.
No.
Okay. Well, we disagree then.
Okay.
I feel like this was an enormous tonal shift from what the show is usually about. The show, back when they started, the show did serious topics seriously. This episode does a serious topic seriously. In between, they have not. And I don't feel like the show is... This feels like a season 2 episode.
Okay.
Not a season 9 episode. That's how I feel about it.
Okay.
I don't think they did a bad job. I don't think it was a bad episode. But I think that it's such a radical departure from what they do. It would be like if... This is a really weird, esoteric Star Trek reference. But in the first season of Star Trek, they did a lot of like stupid shit. Like they were really influenced heavily by the original series, and they made a lot of the same mistakes the original series did in the first season. And there's an episode called The Naked Now, which is a spiritual sequel of an original series episode called The Naked Time. Okay. Where some kind of weird virus or something like that gets on the ship. It makes them all act drunk. And they get like drunk and weird and stuff. And they come back and I think somebody's off the ship. I want to say it's Wesley maybe, or I don't know. Somebody's off the ship and they come back and they find everyone fucking like drunk and acting weird. And it even affects Data because it, like the positronic brain or whatever, like it affects that, and it makes like Beverly Crusher super horny for Captain Picard and everything, and there's a whole scene with that, and it's a really stupid, silly episode. So it would be like if in season 5 of Star Trek: The Next Generation, where they're doing really serious, like moralizing episodes and stuff like that, all of a sudden you in the middle you have the naked Now, an episode exactly like that. I'd be like, what the fuck? Like we're not doing this anymore. This is season 1 shit. Like that's what this felt like to me. Okay. In the opposite way.
I mean, I understand what you're saying. I didn't feel that jarred by it like you're talking about.
Okay. So. All right. So, where do you want to start? Do you want to rip the Band-Aid off, or what do you want to do?
Yeah. Let's start with Kelly. Yep. So, because that's where the episode starts.
The episode does start in the hospital.
And I think they did a really good job with this scene, with the camera work and everything, just like kind of getting like the dissociation she's experiencing, like people just kind of coming at her with questions, being overwhelmed. So I liked the way they handled that.
They did a good job with the audio, because the audio kind of fades in and out. And so the audio mixing did a good job. I agree. The cinematography did a really good job. Jenny Garth, love her or hate her character, she was made to do this kind of acting. Yeah. Because she's very good in this kind of serious, weeping, wounded, broken person kind of acting. Even in the small moments, she does it really well.
So she does.
She carries this episode from an emotional level, her storyline anyway, and I feel like in the hands of a lesser actress, it might devolve into something that you're like, this is not, they shouldn't be doing this. Like, they should not be tackling a subject like this. But she does a really good job.
And she makes the very difficult choice to go ahead and do a rape kit, which is super, traumatizing on top of a trauma.
And I think that the writers do a good job of doing exactly what they need to do to convey the emotion without going too far. Mm-hmm. It never feels like this is way too uncomfortable. Like we shouldn't be seeing or hearing this. Like it never gets to that point, which is good. But they give us enough to where, like they talk about the rape kit and they talk about collecting DNA. They talk about it's invasive and all that stuff. They give it everything they need. The nurse shares with Kelly that she was the victim of rape. They never caught the guy, that she had to go through this too. So they connect on that kind of a level too.
Yeah, so, I mean, they handle all of that really well. And then the next morning, Kelly, she never calls anybody to come be with her. She does all of this on her own. Yeah. The next morning she goes back home and immediately, even though like she's walking up in sweatpants and a sweatshirt that obviously do not belong to her because they've taken her clothes. Yeah,
they kept her clothes for evidence.
Her lip is split. She has a bruise on her face. And Donna just jumps up and like, oh my gosh, I've got to talk to you about how I really want to fuck this guy. Mm-hmm. Like, that was the tonal shift for me. That was the out of place thing for me, was Donna.
Well, because everyone else is doing the show as the show has been going. Mm-hmm. She's not. So that's part of it too. But yeah, she's so self-absorbed.
She doesn't even ask if it, like, she just says, what happened to your lip?
Yeah. And she says, oh, I tripped over a toy of Aaron's. And she's like, oh, okay. Hey, there's this, you remember that guy? I want to fuck him. I want to cheat on Noah. Should I?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. She does not realize how, like, out of it Kelly is or upset or anything.
And she's like, oh, thanks for the talk. Watch the store for me. She doesn't even wait for her to answer.
Yeah. She just asked. She's like, I need some time to think about this. My life is in chaos. Yeah. And just dumps shit on Kelly. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's interesting.
It's bad.
At one point, she comes up to Kelly and she's like, now she doesn't know, but this is a rape victim she's talking to. And she's like, you fucked a lot of guys, right?
She does not say that.
Just one time and stuff like that too? Like,
she's like, how many guys have you slept with?
Well, she says, like, you've slept with a good amount of guys.
No, she doesn't. She asks her, how many have you slept with? And she starts, like, naming and counting. And
right, she's like, let's see, we got Dylan, we got Brandon, you slept with Steve, you slept with the coke guy, that one guy that took your virginity that was an asshole, your rapist.
Which, I mean, honestly, the way she lost her virginity sounded almost like rape too. Like, yes, she's had a lot of trauma.
Well, she was almost raped at the Halloween party.
Yeah,
way back when.
Mm-hmm. Because they do everything bad to her character. It's like the thing they do to make you not hate her is they just like pile the shit on her.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, because this is the same character that last episode said to Gina, "Hey, I fucked your boyfriend." And you're bulimic and you've got problems, but either forgive me or get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Like, horrible. But, yeah, then they do this to her, and it's like...
Then you gotta feel bad for her.
Yeah.
So she does go to the store, as Donna has asked her. Mm. But she's so overwhelmed by what happened to her that she's literally just kicking people out left and right. Mm-hmm. And at one point, she's alone, and a guy comes in, and... She's like, we're actually closing right now.
And he's like, it's 11. He looks so confused.
She's like, we're doing our annual inventory. Sorry.
Right.
But, like, that part I thought was a little over the top. I don't know that she would have been terrified to be alone in a glass place with a guy. Like, seriously, all the walls are glass. It's broad daylight, and there's people everywhere outside.
Yeah, but if she's not thinking logically, if she's just been through a horrible trauma, she's not thinking, oh, I'm probably safe here. Like, yeah. She doesn't feel safe anywhere. Like, I to me, like, that emotionally connected me to her situation. Like, I've never been raped. I've never been forcibly raped or any other kind of rape. Why? What? What are you looking at?
Well, I mean, because, like, just there is no other kind of rape, I guess. I mean...
Well, I mean, like, there's date... Like, this is different than date rape.
Yeah.
They're all awful. None's, like, better than the other or whatever, I guess.
Oh.
But, like, however you want to put it or whatever. But, like, this is... You could say... I think it's very difficult... Okay, I don't want to offend anybody. I think it's very difficult to rape a guy in the way... For a girl. I guess I should say for a girl, to rape a guy in the way that Kelly was actually raped, where it's like a stranger, you're walking down the street. You know, I don't think guys have to worry about this as much as girls do. Guys could be like sexually assaulted or like pressured into something or whatever.
Guys could be raped by another guy.
Yeah, well, that's that. Suddenly that occurred to me, and I was like, well, yeah, that like prison and stuff like that. That probably happens a lot to guys, which is this type of rape or whatever. It doesn't matter. Anyway, I'm just saying I've never been raped, so I cannot relate to her on a one-to-one level. I don't know what it feels like. But her acting and her being in that situation in this scene, it allowed me to connect a little bit to what was going on with her character. So I know you were like, I don't know if that's believable, but that I'm glad they wrote that in because that helped me identify a little bit more with her. Okay. And I think like guys who maybe don't have this fear or this has never happened to, because guys for the most part don't really worry about being raped, even when we're walking alone in an alley, you know, or whatever. Like, it's just not... It's something women have to worry about way more than men have to worry about.
Sure.
So, I think that doing that helped people like me who don't worry about this on a day-to-day level connect with what she's doing. Because to not feel safe in that situation, even though it is all open, but you're one-to-one with someone and you're like, you know, who the fuck knows? Later, she goes into the back. After she kicks him out, she goes into the back. There's changing rooms with curtains. I mean... He pushes her back there, closes the curtain, no one can see. Like
that's true.
That could go through her head. I mean, you know, I don't know. So like that, I'm glad they did that because that allowed me to empathize with her situation.
Okay. Then she goes to get a coffee and is verbally accosted by Dylan because he's like, hey, where were you? You didn't show up. You guys are supposed to be willing to walk through fire when I say I want to relapse, and you didn't show up for me.
And this is one of the quiet moments too, where she says I would.
Yeah.
And she kind of did.
Right?
Like she went through hell trying to get to him, and she doesn't like. It's not the way it's delivered is not like fiery. It's not. You could go a lot of ways with this line delivery. And I think a lot of ways would be wrong, but it's a very quiet, broken, like almost inaudible I would. And it's, you know, it's a very good acting choice from her part.
Yeah. And he's like, well, what happened? And then she finally tells him she was raped.
Yeah. And I said, and then like, so just real quick to set the stage, she goes to his house where he's staying with David. And he says to David, you didn't see anything. And he's like, yeah, whatever. I don't give a fuck. But she's staying with him. Now, I said, I'm surprised that she's with Dylan and not her boyfriend. And you said you weren't surprised.
No.
So you didn't elucidate on that.
Elaborate
on that. So I was curious about that.
Well, if you look at their connection and their relationships, who does she feel safer with? Who does she connect more to? Yeah. I mean, yeah, Matt's her boyfriend and Dylan's her ex-boyfriend who's her friend, but there's way more emotional connection and safety in that relationship.
I feel like if it came down to it, too, where someone was going to attack her, she would stand behind Dylan, I think, besides Matt. Which may be a chink in their relationship, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
With her and Matt. But I think I know Dylan was there. Well, Dylan was there, right? When the attempted rape at the at the Halloween party.
Yeah, I think it was him and Steve that saved her.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It was him and Steve that pulled the guy out and like beat the shit out of him or whatever. And got him out of the party. So that also might be in her mind. Who knows? But
yeah, so she's with him. It's interesting that she's rather be at his house than at her house too. But no, it's not, because I almost forgot. The guy stole her purse. Yeah. So he has her house keys and her driver's license.
That's really insult to injury, I think. Like, you're going to rape somebody and then also steal their purse? That's pretty fucked up. I mean, one or the other.
Yeah.
Pick a lane.
Okay, neither is acceptable.
No, I agree. Okay.
And I'm sure she would have rather had her purse stolen if she got a choice between the two.
This is not an open invitation, guys. I'm not saying listeners out there. I'm not saying. I'm just saying. I think doing both is overkill. I don't think that's good.
Oh my goodness.
This was the funny we're trying to be everywhere.
So she's afraid to be home because she's afraid that he is going to come back for her.
And they do change the lock. She has the locks changed.
Yeah. So then when she finally is at her house and Matt tries to get in with the key she has given him, he can't.
And he's like, what the fuck? And she's like, her cover story, because she doesn't want to tell anyone. Mm-hmm. Her covers, which is fine, Dylan at one point's like, you're going to have to tell everybody or whatever. And it's like, no, she's not.
I don't know why he thinks that she has to tell anybody anything.
No, this is her. It's her decision. I personally believe, and no one out there that's been a victim of this needs to listen to me or do anything that I'm suggesting. I personally believe in situations like this, it's better to talk to someone. Doesn't have to be a loved one. Can be a psychiatrist or a counselor of some kind, a social worker. But I do believe that it's better to talk through, because it's a trauma, so it's better to talk through and kind of try to work through all that stuff than it is to keep it completely to yourself. But no one who's a victim like this should feel like they have to reveal it to anybody. That's another violation. She should decide when and who she wants to open up to.
A lot of women choose not to tell people, and that's okay.
There's a lot of, unfortunately, and I don't know exactly why this is. Maybe you could speak better on this, but unfortunately, there seems to be a lot of shame associated with this crime too, from the victim's standpoint. Yeah. Even though the victims did nothing wrong, no matter what anyone tells you, no matter what people say about, well, why were you there? Why were you in that bad neighborhood? Why were you wearing that dress? Why were you like the all that bullshit from like whatever time period, the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s.
I mean, seriously.
Probably 2000s, 2010s, 2020s. But
it's still, I mean, like, I'm sorry, but it might be a little bit better, but it's still like that. I mean, people still try to blame the victim, but
it's never the victim's fault. No. Is my point.
Well, that's part of where that shame comes from, is because people always try to look at, like, first of all, you just feel like you could have done something different to prevent it, even though it's not your fault. I mean, that's because people try to, it gives some kind of control almost to it,
I guess, yeah. But I mean, it's like getting shot. Like, there's not many people that, like, I don't think, maybe this does happen to people that get shot. I don't know. But, like, if you get shot, you don't hear a lot of people being like, oh, man, I shouldn't have done this or I shouldn't have done that. It's like, no, the asshole shouldn't have shot you. Like, right. It's the same, like, that, it's really the same thing. I mean, obviously they're different crimes, but, like, in both cases, you're a victim and somebody did something to you that they shouldn't have done. It's their fault, not your fault. So. Right. But anyway, so we reveal, by the way, real quick, and I fucking called this. You heard me. It's revealed that her rapist is a client of Matt's. Yeah. A current client of Matt's, who he's trying to get, released.
Now, nothing happens with this information this episode. The audience knows. What, something does happen?
Something happens with the case.
Yeah, but I'm saying with the information, like, Matt doesn't know that's the guy that raped Kelly. Correct. Kelly doesn't know that, the rapist is his client. Correct. That's what I'm saying. It's like we as the audience are aware that that's who he's helping, but nobody else knows.
That's right, yes.
So I'm sure that will eventually come to fruition.
Yeah, obviously.
So, but yeah, I mean, that's a whole other storyline, Matt and this dude. So Matt gets upset with Kelly because he wants to know, where were you last night? And he's like, were you with Dylan? And she's like, yeah.
I mean, yeah, kind of rightfully so. Like, he's right even though he's wrong because he doesn't know he's wrong.
Because she doesn't tell him what happened.
Right.
And even knowing, honestly, from his standpoint, from his point of view, I could see being upset either way, because why did she go to him instead of Matt? You know what I mean? Like, his feelings would probably be hurt for that.
True, but in that case, like, if I were him, that's not something I would bring up.
Well, no, of course not. But I don't think that it's a good standpoint for their relationship.
No, yeah, I agree with you. But yeah, she says, I was with Dylan. He tries to kiss her. Oh, and it's like, at that point, it's like, you kind of have a choice with Matt. You either have to tell him what happened, or you have to break up with him, or say like, "Hey, I need a long time. We need to take a friend style break. You know, like we need to take a long time because, like it's just."
She's going to need time before she's ready for anything like that.
Right, and it's not fair to him to say no and him not to know why. Like for him to be like, well, what the fuck is different? Like, and she's like, no, we can't have sex. Like it's, it's a really fucked up situation. It's understandable for her not to want to for however long she needs to. But, like, unless they're breaking up, he should know, like, why. Because then that allows him to be kind.
Right.
Otherwise, he's not going to be kind. Like, he comes off very unkind when he asks about Dylan, and she says yes, and he's like, he's like, fuck, I'm leaving. And he leaves.
Well, no, she says yes, and you should go.
Yeah.
That's, like, she doesn't even give him a chance to say shit about it. She's just like, yes, and you should go.
And then Dylan comes up to him or whatever. I think like Dylan seeks him out or he seeks Dylan out. I don't remember exactly how it happens, but they have a conversation and he's like, yeah, what the fuck's going on with you and my girlfriend? She told me that you fucking with her. And he's like, you know how I like drugs? And he's like, yeah. And he goes, well, I wanted drugs and she came and helped me and stayed with me. And he's like, oh, I feel like an asshole now. Like he's like suddenly, and this is like how good of a guy they're making him out to be. He suddenly has he doesn't have any fears or he doesn't question her or anything anymore. He's like, oh man, I was wrong. You were helping him. So he talks to the two of them and he's like, hey, I shouldn't have reacted like that. I'm sorry. Like, you're helping him out. Anytime, Dylan, if you need my help too, you can come to me. You guys can work stuff out. And he's like, Kelly, we're good, right? And she's like, yeah, we're good.
Yeah. Crazy. I don't think he truly is that good of a guy, though.
I don't know.
I mean, they play him off like that, but I don't know. I don't like him.
I don't like his characters.
I don't know why I don't like him. I just don't.
Yeah, it's hard for you to be objective about him.
But why?
Because you hate him. You hate his character.
And then what else happened? So at the very end of the episode.
Sure. Oh, yeah. As far as the storyline goes, yes.
Dylan shows up. Doesn't she tell Donna what happened?
She does. Eventually, she has to tell Donna what happened because Donna keeps going on about fucking this guy or wanting to fuck this guy, and she's like, "Hey." Finally, Donna like becomes self-aware or whatever, and she's like, "What's wrong with you? Like something's going on.
Right?
You're not acting silly like we do on the show anymore. Like you're acting serious. What's up? I didn't read the script." And she's like, "I was raped," and she's like, "Oh." Fuck. So then she's being nice to her and everything, and they're whatever, like they're good again. But yeah, at the end of the episode, what happens though?
Dylan shows up with a gun for Kelly.
Ah, yes.
What is it with this guy and guns?
I don't know. And that like I said when we were watching the episode, this is Chekhov's gun, like literally Chekhov's gun. They're introducing a gun, it's going to get used. She's going to fucking kill the rapist, or she's going to kill someone she thinks is the rapist, or something's going to happen. She's going to shoot someone with this gun.
Yeah, he gives her, he's like, careful with it, it's loaded. Like, you don't say that either without it coming into play.
And she's like, just because this fucking happened to me doesn't mean it needs to happen to someone else. I think.
No. She's talking about it was a random act, random, and that means just because it happened to me doesn't mean it can't happen again.
Right.
So she's like, next time I'm going to be ready.
Yeah. So someone's going to come up behind her on the street or something like that and be like, "Excuse me, do you know the oh my god!" She's going to shoot him.
Oh my goodness.
Or it's going to be like somebody in the store or whatever. She's like, "We're closed." And he's like, "It's 11. Get the fuck out."
Well, no, at the end, I think it was the end, even after getting the gun, and she calls for help, I think. She calls that help number they gave her.
No, she calls that before
she gets the gun?
Yeah, after she kicks the dude out. She calls 1-800-HOPE or something like that, or whatever it is.
Something like that. We should have looked up the number.
It ends in HOPE, but she calls them. It's the rape hotline. And the woman's like, "Are you a place where you can feel safe?" And she's like, "Ha, safe." Like, and she doesn't much. It's a good acting.
Yeah.
She does it better than that.
Yeah.
But so they start a conversation. So she's getting some help, which is good.
Yes.
But yeah, that's kind of the end of that storyline. So my thought is That's the Guy is the name of the next episode. By the way, that's the last episode of season 9, and we will be completely caught up, guys. We'll be with you. We'll be watching it live from here on out.
Wait, that's the Guy is the season finale?
Yeah.
Oh.
So I don't know. That makes me think that maybe she's going to shoot him.
Maybe. But don't forget, they also handed her a book of mugshots to look at some point when she was working with the police.
She's going to shoot them all. She's going to go down the list
right?
and just start killing all of them. She becomes a serial killer. She's an Eileen Wuornos for today's day and age.
Oh my God.
Would love it. Michigan connection, everyone. Michigan's own. We're proud.
We are not proud of the serial killer.
Eileen Wuornos. We are proud of Michigan's serial killer, Eileen Wuornos.
So, other storylines.
Rochester, Michigan, everyone.
She was from Rochester?
Fuck yeah.
Huh. Anyway. Donna. We mentioned Donna several times.
We did mention Donna several times.
Donna and Noah are continuing with their stupid back and forth. I want you to move in. I don't think I should. I'm not ready yet. At one point, he says, it's been 18 months. If you're not ready, then we should just break up.
Fair. I mean, completely fair.
Yeah. Because she's not explaining herself. She tries to say it's because people who live together before they get married get divorced, which is
that's bullshit.
Dumb.
We lived together before we got married.
Yeah.
And we're going to be together forever, Donna, you fucking idiot.
So there's that. And then she's decided that she wants to have casual sex with the model that she had hired and been making out with.
She doesn't. She says it's casual sex. It's weird because it seems like they really like each other.
Yeah.
But I think she's thinking it's casual sex because they haven't dated for 7.5 years before having sex. She hasn't planned out the wedding yet, so that's casual sex to her.
I mean, they've been on dates.
Yeah.
They've made out. They've spent time on the phone, talking about, weird shit, what they
should pack for a desert island or something?
Right. I mean, that's the kind of shit you do with your boyfriend.
Right. He invites her to Acapulco where he has a volleyball tournament coming up. Because remember, guys, he's a professional volleyball player.
Yeah, not a model.
Really weird.
Very weird. Of course, she says no to Acapulco. Mm-hmm. And then she gets all weird and starts asking him, how many girls have you taken to Acapulco and all this stuff.
And he's like, Donna, listen, but I want to fuck you now.
No, he's like, you are not one in a string of women.
He does say
he's trying to reassure her that I don't think to him this would be casual sex. I don't get that impression.
I think he wants to start a relationship, but I bet he's fucked a lot of women.
Yeah, sure. Why not? I mean, whatever. He's, a dude who's good looking and travels. So.
Yeah. And has a fun job.
Right. Soccer.
Professional volleyball.
Whatever. It has a ball.
Oh my God. He's got two.
Are her and Noah broken? What?
I said he wants to use them on Donna. No, they're not broken up. He fucking gives her a pamphlet and it's like, hey, let's fucking move in. I want an answer. And then he buys her a set of cups that she wanted, like wine goblets or something. And he's like, yeah, this is... He says, I know what it is. It's a test. You want me to, like, you don't think I'm committed enough or whatever. So I went and put an offer in on the house.
This poor guy, he's trying so hard.
And she's like, no, I want to fuck someone else, Noah.
I wish she would say that. It's
bullshit that she's like, this is... I buy this, I guess, for her character, but it's really disappointing that she's doing this.
I mean, I don't like Noah. Don't get me wrong.
No, we want the Muppet gone.
But I think she should treat him better. Because I don't like this about her character, and otherwise I like her character. So
I think Noah's done.
I hope so.
Everyone else in the world knows, well, that watches this show, knows whether or not he is. But I'm pretty sure next episode it's gonna come out, and he's gonna be like, you know what? 2 middle fingers. Fuck you, Beverly Hills. I'm taking my balls and I'm going home.
God, I hope so. That would be the bestest news ever.
The only other bestest news would be if Matt somehow gets arrested and then he's raped in prison.
Oh my God, what is wrong with you?
No, I just want his character gone. That's all. I just want him off the show. Can we do the last season with just who's left of the original cast? Can we do Dylan? Can we do Kelly? Can we do Steve? Can
and
we
Donna
do
and David.
Donna and David? Yeah, and you can throw Janet in there to round it out as a sixth.
I guess
to be someone for Steve to be in a relationship with. But like, can we just make it them and Noah and Matt can go away?
That'd be cool. Sorry, I'm getting like dehydrated in this hot room.
It is warm, yeah. Speaking of hot, the guy Donna wants to fuck. No. So that's oh wow. Wow.
I just gave a little nod.
I thought I was hot.
You are hot.
Hotter than that guy?
Hell yeah.
Okay, yeah, of course I am. That's pretty much it with Donna's storyline though. Like nothing really comes of it. It's just she does go over there to fuck him. And, and she pulls back and is like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
It's really weird because like you said, she weirdly is like, how many people have you taken to Acapulco? And then she like really starts pulling back like hardcore and she's like, no. Like it's all moving too fast. And he's like, hey, we don't have to do anything. And she's like, no, I'm fucking leaving.
Yeah, it was like she was reacting really strangely to him. I don't know why he's even still interested because she's kind of acting like a maniac.
Yeah, she really is.
But he seems like he's just trying to be a good dude. So...
yeah, that's kind of the end of that storyline.
Yeah.
There's Steve and Janet's like little weird storyline we can do quickly. And then the only other big storyline is Gina and David.
Yeah. So Steve and Janet, this is a really weird and I think stupid storyline, but not comically stupid, just stupid.
Right. Yeah, it's a waste of time. They wisely decided not to go wacky. They just decided to waste our time.
So somebody shows up and has a picture that Steve took.
I'm from the Chronicle.
And says, this is a work of art. An artist took this photo.
It's a porn star getting into a cab.
Yeah. But, like, it's kind of, like, from the ground. It's, like, looking up at her. And
it is a nice photo.
Interesting looking picture. So he's like, I want to, sign you for a book. I need to see your portfolio. And Steve's like, oh, yeah, I'm an artist for sure.
Yeah. Well, because this comes off the heels, like literally seconds off the heels of Janet revealing like, oh, hey, look, a guy I used to date just won an Obie, which is an off-Broadway pride. It's like the Tonys, but it's for off-Broadway stuff. She's like, he's an artist. He's a fucking playwright.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm a fucking artist.
So stupid.
I took that photo.
So he drags Janet all around town taking pictures for this portfolio that he's putting together.
Dumb pictures.
And then, like, the dude comes to look at the pictures, and he's like, yeah, don't quit your day job, dude.
He's like, but you still want my other picture, right? You said you were going to publish that in the Chronicle. And he's like, fuck you. Yeah. And he leaves.
And then... Matt has Steve doing photos for him too, which is like really weird because it's not a thing he does, but then all of a sudden this episode, not only is he pretending to be a photographer, right. but he's actually doing crime scene photos for Matt as a lawyer.
It's so weird. Yeah, because I guess we can get into this real quick. Matt's client, the rapist, is accused of stealing a stereo. And so he goes to the apartment because the police came in there because they said they saw the stereo and everything. And he goes to the apartment to try to prove that they didn't have mens rea or whatever. They didn't have probable cause to search him.
Okay.
That's not what mens rea is, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, so they're taking photos and everything, and Steve's like, why don't you fucking check the camera, you moron? And he's like, oh, yeah. And then on the camera, it shows that the guy had the stereo in a garbage bag. The cops couldn't see it at all, and they lied on their report and said they could see it.
Right.
And so he goes to the other lawyer, and he's like, yeah, they lied, let him go. And he's like, all right, fuck, I'll let him go.
So he gets the rapist released from jail.
Right.
That's how that goes.
But yeah, anyway, so Steve's taking crime photos and shit like that. But I mean, that's basically it.
Yeah.
Like Janet's like, you know what, I'm made for you. It doesn't matter that you're not a fucking artist. I love you.
Yeah, I hate their relationship and I hate them.
I don't hate them. I wish they would do more serious storylines with them.
Okay, sorry, we gotta wrap this up.
Yeah. I know. Let's wrap it up. David and Gina. So Gina is doing like it's really hot, folks.
The ice capades. I don't like the furnace is broken or something. But Gina's doing like the ice capades or whatever. Mm-hmm. And like I don't understand what this is. Like she used to be a figure skater.
Yeah.
But now she's trying to get into something.
I don't remember what it's for.
Okay.
I don't know if it's like Olympic trials. I don't know what it is, but it's like it's for her. It's like she wants to get back into figure skating, and it's a tryout to get back into figure skating, basically.
So she's training, and David's helping her because he's trying to be like supportive. Like I guess they're a couple now. They're spending all their time together.
Well, kind of. Like he asks Dylan, he's like, "Hey, is it okay if I I don't know, get inside her?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's fine."
I mean, at first he was like, he said, "I would recommend that you don't for her sake," or something like that.
He said, "Take it, like don't
slow,
not right away or something like that, because for her sake." And he's like, "Well, we're fucking friends or whatever, right? Can I have sex with her or not?" And he's like, "Yeah, you can do whatever you want." And he asks her out to dinner, and she's like a date. And he's like, "No, not a date, like a date, no, not a date." And she's like, "I don't know." And he's like, I asked Dylan, and Dylan said it's okay. And she's like, "Oh, to fuck me?" And she's like, "No, like whatever, generically." And she's like, "Okay, well, let's go on to dinner or whatever." And so they do, and it's the beginnings of a relationship. Yeah.
So we see her at the Peach Pit eating a lot of food. Like Nat's like, "Where does such a little lady put all that food?" Mm-hmm. And like you commented right then, you're like, "The toilet." And then she does get up and go to the bathroom. It's like, that's what's happening. But really, I don't think that makes a lot of sense. Mostly, believe me, it happens in private, not in a fucking restaurant. Just saying.
Okay. Not something I would know. You know that stuff.
So
not because she's bulimic, everyone. This is her field of study.
So she's on the ice. She's doing her twirls. David's giving her scores. It's all super cute.
Yeah.
She goes out with him to a concert.
Yep.
The night before her audition.
They're out till 2 a.m. Very, very stupid.
Probably drinking and betting.
Yeah, that'd be my guess based on what happens.
And then she goes into the bathroom and is being called to the ice and not showing up. And somebody comes running out saying, "There's a girl in the bathroom who was throwing up and she passed out." Yep,
and she's just there, passed out in the stall or whatever.
David runs in and grabs her and she's all out.
Yep.
I suspect that this was not like a binge and purge. I suspect that this was like something in her body went fuck.
Yeah, probably. That's my guess.
Yeah.
Because that's what we've been talking about. Like, I feel something in her heart or something like that. Because that's what the dentist was like, "Hey, this is going to fuck you up."
Well, and I mean, like, if she was throwing up in there, I'm just, like, I feel like it was probably just, like, irritation from all the other throwing up. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. But, yeah. It's going to be something more serious. She's going to be hospitalized. We're going to have 2 very serious storylines come to a head in the season finale. So.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that is the episode, everyone. Was it funny?
No. Was it sad?
I thought there was a couple funny
There were a couple of funny ones. But anyway.
Tell the people where to get a gun to shoot rapists.
Oh, dear Lord. You can write us at latefee1994 at AOL.com. Mm-hmm. Check out our website at www.retrolatefee.com.
Yep.
And share the tapes with your friends.
We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.